Could your great-great-great-great-grandparents have battled the aches of time with the same plants you might find in a garden today? What secrets did the earth whisper to the aging souls of the 13th century, promising ease and comfort? Number 6. A world of whispers and weeds. Step back, way back, to a time when glowing screens and instant cures were not even wild dreams. We are talking about the Middle Ages, a period roughly stretching from the 5th to the 15th century. Life then was tough, often short, and certainly not for the faint of heart. For those who were fortunate enough to reach what was considered old age, usually anyone past their 40s or 50s, challenges piled up. There were no joint replacements, no daily vitamins, no specific pain clinics. Yet people still aged, and they still sought relief from the aches, the memory slips, the digestion issues, and the general slowing down that came with increasing years. How did they cope? They looked to the ground beneath their feet, to the wisdom passed down through generations, and to the silent green healers that grew in their gardens, fields, and forests. Herbal medicine was not just an alternative. It was often the only medicine. Monasteries, with their meticulously kept gardens, served as centers of healing and learning. Monks and nuns, often skilled in reading ancient texts from figures like Pliny the Elder or Dioscorides, cultivated vast collections of medicinal plants. They transcribed and translated knowledge, preserving remedies that might otherwise have been lost. Alongside them, village-wise women, often called cunning folk, carried on traditions that were rooted in local folklore and practical experience. These women, sometimes viewed with suspicion, were nonetheless essential members of their communities, especially when sickness struck. Even noble households employed their own apothecaries, who concocted remedies from exotic spices and local herbs. The understanding of the body in the Middle Ages was deeply tied to the concept of humors. This theory, inherited from ancient Greek and Roman physicians, suggested that the human body was made up of 4 essential fluids: blood, yellow bile, black bile, and phlegm. Each humor was associated with certain qualities like hot, cold, wet, or dry, and with specific organs. Sickness was believed to occur when these humors became imbalanced. For example, a fever might be seen as an excess of hot blood, while lethargy could be too much cold phlegm. The goal of medieval medicine, therefore, was to restore balance. Herbs were categorized by their properties, whether warming or cooling, drying or moistening, and chosen specifically to counteract the imbalance in a person's humors. This wasn't just about treating a symptom. It was about bringing the whole person back into harmony with their inner workings and with nature itself. For the aging, the focus was often on maintaining vitality, easing pain, and preserving mental sharpness. As the body naturally cooled and dried with age, according to humoral theory, remedies that were warming and moistening were often favored. Digestive complaints. A common issue for many then as now were tackled with herbs known to settle the stomach and promote digestion. Joint pain, often called gout or rheumatism, was a constant companion for those who lived lives of hard labor, or even just the daily grind of medieval existence. Sleep was another precious commodity, easily disrupted by the pains and worries of age, and herbs were sought to bring peaceful slumber. The remedies we are about to delve into were not magic potions, but they represented the best knowledge and resources available to a society that faced the harsh realities of age head-on. They were deeply integrated into daily life, grown in kitchen gardens, gathered from wild meadows, and valued more than gold for their ability to offer comfort. People understood that their connection to the earth was not just for food, but for healing too. This reliance on plants fostered a deep respect for nature and an intricate knowledge of its hidden powers. The quiet act of brewing a tea, preparing a poultice, or simply breathing in the scent of a carefully cultivated herb was a ritual of hope, a tangible link between suffering and potential relief in a world that often felt beyond human control. It was a profound act of self-care, passed down through generations, making these remedies not just botanical curiosities, but windows into the heart of medieval life. Number 5. Unearthing the power of sage. Imagine a sprawling monastery garden neatly divided into beds where the sun warms the soil. In one of these beds, you would almost certainly find sage, its velvety grayish-green leaves reaching towards the sky, emanating a distinctive, slightly peppery, earthy scent. This herb, known botanically as Salvia officinalis, has a name rooted in Latin, salvare, which translates to save or to heal. This powerful name was no accident. It reflected the immense reverence medieval people held for this unassuming plant. From the earliest monastic records, sage was praised for its wide-ranging medicinal properties, especially those thought to benefit the aging body and mind. For the medieval elderly, one of the most pressing concerns was the decline of mental sharpness, often referred to as forgetfulness or decay of wit. This cognitive decline was a source of worry, not just for the individual, but for their ability to contribute to the household or community. Sage, with its ancient reputation, became a primary go-to for these issues. Physicians and herbalists believed that sage had warming and drying qualities that could stimulate the brain and improve memory. The regimen Sanitatis Salernitanum, a hugely influential medical text from the school of Salerno, compiled around the 11th or 12th century, famously declared, "Why should a man die who has sage in his garden?" This saying captured the widespread belief in sage's restorative powers, particularly for the mind. People would often prepare a simple infusion by steeping dried sage leaves in hot water, creating a tea to be drunk regularly. The warmth of the tea and the potent compounds released from the leaves were thought to invigorate the animal spirits that medieval theory believed animated the brain. Beyond memory, sage was a stalwart ally against common digestive complaints that often plagued older individuals. A sluggish digestion, flatulence, or general stomach discomfort were frequent troubles. Sage was considered a carminative, meaning it helped to expel gas and soothe the digestive tract. A stronger decoction, made by simmering the leaves in water for a longer period, might be prescribed for more stubborn issues. The bitter notes in sage were also believed to stimulate appetite, which could wane with age and aid the secretion of digestive juices. It wasn't just about the internal effects either. The fragrant leaves of sage were sometimes simply rubbed on the stomach to provide a comforting warmth. Joint discomfort, the persistent rheumatism or gout that often accompanied aging, also found a contender in sage. While not a primary painkiller in the way some other herbs were, sage was believed to have anti-inflammatory properties. For external aches, a poultice might be fashioned from crushed fresh sage leaves, sometimes warmed or mixed with a little oil and applied directly to the affected joints. The warmth and volatile compounds were thought to penetrate the skin and offer some relief. For a general tonic effect, particularly against the coldness of old age, sage was incorporated into various concoctions. It was a common ingredient in medicinal wines where the leaves were steeped in wine for several days or weeks. This created a potent elixir believed to strengthen the body, cleanse the blood, and impart a general sense of well-being, warding off the chill and weakness that often set in with advanced years. Sage's versatility extended to oral hygiene and skin issues too. As teeth decayed and gums receded, the antibacterial properties of sage made it useful as a mouthwash, prepared by steeping it in vinegar or water. This was thought to freshen breath and soothe inflamed gums. For skin irritations or minor wounds, especially prevalent on fragile older skin, a wash made from sage tea was used to cleanse and promote healing. Hildegard von Bingen, a remarkable 12th century abbess, mystic, and healer, wrote extensively about the medicinal uses of plants. She recommended sage for melancholy and for strengthening the heart, underscoring its role in promoting general health and emotional balance, which are crucial for well-being at any age, but particularly significant for those facing the emotional changes associated with aging. The ubiquitous presence of sage in medieval gardens and medical texts testifies to its enduring reputation as a powerful healer, an herb literally thought to save those seeking comfort and longevity in a challenging world. It was a staple, an everyday wonder, providing a simple yet profound source of hope and tangible relief. Number 4. The soothing embrace of lavender. Picture a sunny hillside in southern Europe or a carefully tended plot within a medieval cloister where fragrant purple blossoms sway gently in the breeze. This is lavender, a plant whose very scent brings a sense of calm. Its name, lavandula, is thought to derive from the Latin word lavar, meaning to wash, which hints at its ancient use in baths for cleansing and perfuming. While less overtly powerful than some other medicinal herbs, lavender held a quiet yet profound place in medieval herbalism, particularly for the aging population who often grappled with disturbed sleep, anxious thoughts, and the everyday aches of a well-lived life. Sleep issues were a pervasive problem in the Middle Ages, especially for older individuals. Restless nights, often exacerbated by chronic pain, worry, or simply the natural changes of aging, were a common complaint. Without modern sleep aids, people turned to natural remedies. Lavender was a star player here. Its calming scent was believed to soothe the troubled spirits and quiet the mind, preparing the body for rest. Sachets filled with dried lavender flowers were often placed under pillows or hung near beds. Sometimes, a warm infusion of lavender tea was drunk before bedtime. The gentle warmth of the tea, combined with the aromatic compounds inhaled during drinking, was thought to relax the nervous system. The volatile oils in lavender, even in their rudimentary forms of extraction or simply through crushing the plant, were understood to have a sedative effect. This was a simple, yet profoundly comforting ritual, transforming a restless night into one with the promise of peaceful slumber. Beyond sleep, lavender was cherished for its ability to temper anxious thoughts and melancholy, terms that encompassed a range of mental distress, including what we might now call anxiety or mild depression. The Middle Ages were certainly not without their share of stress, from famine and disease to social unrest. For the elderly, the burdens of life could feel particularly heavy. Lavender's fragrance was considered a balm for the spirit, believed to uplift the mood and bring a sense of serenity. People might carry small bunches of lavender or wear it in their clothing to inhale its calming aroma throughout the day. Infusions of lavender were sometimes mixed with other calming herbs like chamomile or balm to create a stronger sedative tea offered to those whose minds seemed perpetually agitated. This gentle approach to mental well-being was a crucial aspect of medieval care, recognizing the interconnectedness of mind and body. Pain relief, particularly for muscle aches and joint stiffness, also found a helper in lavender. While not a strong analgesic, its anti-inflammatory properties and ability to promote relaxation could offer some comfort. A common method was to create a bath infusion. Dried lavender flowers would be steeped in hot water, then added to the bath. The warm water would help the aromatic oils to diffuse, and the warmth of the bath itself, combined with the relaxing properties of lavender, could ease sore muscles and joints. For localized aches, an oil infused with lavender made by steeping the flowers in a base oil like olive oil for several weeks, might be gently massaged into the skin. This provided a soothing warmth and the gentle pain-relieving effects attributed to the herb. Skin conditions, such as dryness, minor irritations, or even small wounds, were also treated with lavender. As skin becomes more fragile with age, such issues were common. A wash made from lavender tea was used to cleanse and soothe irritated skin, believed to have antiseptic and healing properties. Its pleasant scent also helped to mask unpleasant odors, which was an added benefit in an era with limited sanitation. Monastic communities known for their dedication to cleanliness and hygiene often incorporated lavender into their daily routines, using it in washing water and in liniments. The Hortulus, a notable 9th century poem by Walafrid Strabo, detailing his monastic garden, mentioned lavender as a valuable herb, emphasizing its long-standing presence in medicinal cultivation. This humble plant, with its delicate purple blooms, offered a multifaceted approach to care for the aging, providing not just physical relief, but a crucial sense of calm and comfort in a world that often lacked both. It was a gentle yet powerful reminder that sometimes the simplest remedies bring the most profound peace. Number 3. Nettles, prickly promise. Consider a plant that many instinctively avoid, known for its irritating sting when touched. This is the common nettle, Urtica dioica, a seemingly aggressive weed that grows abundantly in wild spaces, ditches, and neglected corners of fields. Yet, despite its reputation for causing an unpleasant rash, nettle held a surprisingly esteemed position in medieval herbal medicine, especially as a powerful tonic and a specific remedy for the aches and general debility associated with aging. Its prickly promise was that beneath its stinging exterior lay a wealth of vital nutrients and medicinal compounds that could genuinely improve the quality of life for the elderly. One of the most significant applications of nettle for the aging was in combating joint pain, particularly the chronic and debilitating forms of gout and rheumatism that were widespread. The medieval understanding of these conditions often linked them to an accumulation of cold or excessive humors in the joints. Nettle was believed to have a warming and cleansing effect on the blood, helping to purge these unwanted humors. For external pain relief, one of the most intriguing and somewhat startling medieval practices was urtication. This involved deliberately striking or lashing the affected painful joints with fresh nettle branches. While undoubtedly painful in the short term, the intense stinging sensation caused a rush of blood to the area, creating localized inflammation and a counter-irritant effect. This was believed to draw out the bad humors and reduce deeper inflammation. This practice, though harsh, speaks to the desperation for relief from chronic pain and the strong belief in nettle's power to stimulate circulation and provide a unique kind of pain relief. Internally, nettle was valued as a general tonic, combating lassitude or general weakness and fatigue that often accompanied old age. It is remarkably rich in vitamins, minerals like iron, calcium, and magnesium, and antioxidants, though medieval people did not understand these specific chemical components. They simply observed that regular consumption of nettle seemed to impart vigor. A common way to consume nettle was as a tea brewed from the dried leaves. This tea was often prescribed for those feeling weak, anemic, or generally run down. The warming properties of nettle were thought to boost overall vitality and strengthen the body. Beyond tea, fresh young nettle shoots were also cooked and eaten as a nutritious vegetable, much like spinach. This offered a direct way to ingest its beneficial compounds, serving as a restorative food, particularly in early spring when other fresh produce was scarce and older bodies were often at their lowest ebb after a long winter. Nettle was also revered for its blood-building properties. Medieval texts often referred to it as a blood purifier. This was particularly important for individuals who might suffer from conditions causing thin blood or general weakness. The high iron content of nettle, even if unrecognized in chemical terms, likely contributed to its effectiveness in combating what we now understand as iron deficiency anemia, which could lead to fatigue and paleness. A strong decoction of nettle was often recommended to enrich the blood and restore color and strength to the ailing. Furthermore, nettle was recognized for its diuretic properties, meaning it helped to increase urine production. For older individuals, issues with fluid retention or urinary discomfort were common. Nettle tea was prescribed to cleanse the kidneys and alleviate symptoms related to bladder and urinary tract issues, including the discomfort of an enlarged prostate, though they did not have that specific diagnosis. The belief was that by promoting urination, the body could rid itself of excess humors and waste products, leading to overall improved health. The Leiden Lachnunga, an old English medical manuscript, contains various remedies involving nettle for different ailments, shutting its long-standing presence in Anglo-Saxon and early medieval medicine. Hildegard von Bingen also recommended nettle for a healthy stomach and for cleansing, solidifying its place in the medieval herbal pharmacopoeia. This humble, stinging plant, despite its initial deterrent, was a true unsung hero of medieval herbalism, offering profound and widespread benefits for the aging, providing vital nutrients. Number 2. The Fiery Heart of Ginger. Journey along the ancient Silk Road, not just with silks and spices, but with the gnarly, pungent rhizome of ginger. This exotic root, Zingiber officinale, did not grow wild in medieval Europe, but was instead a prized commodity, arriving through bustling trade routes from Asia. Its arrival marked it as something special, something powerful, and its warming, spicy nature immediately captivated medieval physicians and healers. For the aging, ginger's fiery heart offered a potent array of remedies, particularly for digestive woes, inflammatory pains, and the general chill that often settled in with advancing years. Digestive complaints were perhaps the most common and uncomfortable issues facing older individuals in the Middle Ages. Sluggish digestion, persistent flatulence, nausea, or a general feeling of unease after meals were widespread. Ginger, with its reputation as a warming spice, was considered a superb carminative and digestive aid. It was believed to stimulate cold and sluggish digestive humors, thereby improving the breakdown of food and alleviating discomfort. People would often chew on a small piece of candied ginger after a meal, or a stronger decoction of fresh or dried ginger would be prepared as a tea. This tea was a staple for settling stomach complaints and expelling wind. Its ability to reduce nausea was also well known. Medieval sailors, facing the sickness of the sea, often carried ginger. For the aging who might experience similar feelings of queasiness, particularly from rich foods, ginger provided a swift and natural remedy. The very act of consuming ginger was thought to ignite the digestive fire, essential for maintaining health, according to humoral theory. Beyond the gut, ginger's strong anti-inflammatory properties were highly valued for easing the aches and pains of swollen joints and chronic rheumatism, conditions that were an almost inevitable part of aging. While not identified as an anti-inflammatory in modern scientific terms, medieval healers observed its effects. They believed ginger could disperse congested humors and warm, cold joints, thereby reducing swelling and discomfort. Ginger was incorporated into warming poultices, often mixed with other herbs or a base like honey, and applied directly to painful areas. Internally, regular consumption of ginger tea or adding grated ginger to food was encouraged for its systemic warming and pain-relieving effects. The Canon of Medicine by Avicenna, a Persian polymath whose works were widely translated and studied in medieval Europe, praised ginger for its warming qualities and its ability to aid digestion and strengthen the body. For older people, often susceptible to cold and feeling less vigorous, ginger acted as a powerful stimulant and a general tonic. According to humoral theory, aging was associated with a natural cooling and drying of the body. Ginger, being inherently hot and somewhat drying, was seen as an ideal counterbalance, helping to restore warmth and circulation. For cold extremities, a common complaint among the elderly ginger was believed to improve blood flow, warming hands and feet. A strong ginger tea was often consumed to ward off chills and invigorate the body. It was also considered a beneficial herb for conditions affecting the respiratory system, such as persistent coughs or congestion, which could be particularly debilitating for the aging. A common remedy involved boiling ginger with honey, and sometimes other spices like cinnamon, creating a potent syrup to soothe sore throats and clear airways. Ginger's exotic origin made it a valuable commodity, sometimes reserved for those who could afford it, but its reputation ensured its widespread use. It was not merely a seasoning, but a foundational medicine, reflecting the era's pragmatic approach to health. Its fiery essence was understood to awaken the body's natural processes, offering comfort and strength. From simple teas to elaborate warming compounds, ginger remained a staple, providing a tangible source of relief and vitality to those navigating the challenges of aging in a world without complex pharmaceuticals. It was a testament to the power of nature, journeying from distant lands to bring warmth and healing right into the medieval home. Number 1. Rosemary, the herb of remembrance. Imagine a fragrant shrub, its needle-like leaves dark green on top and silvery underneath, releasing a potent resinous scent when brushed. This is Rosemary rosmarinus officinalis, a plant so revered in the Middle Ages that it was often seen as almost sacred. Its name, derived from the Latin ros marinus, meaning dew of the sea, hints at its Mediterranean origins. But its most powerful and enduring association in the medieval mind, particularly for the aging, was with memory. Indeed, rosemary was known far and wide as the herb of remembrance, a gentle yet persistent promise of mental clarity in an age where the mind's decline was a real and unsettling concern. For the medieval elderly, the gradual fading of memory, often described as forgetfulness or a weakening of the brain, was a significant source of distress. There were no brain scans or complex diagnoses, just the lived experience of words slipping away and faces becoming less clear. Rosemary was seen as a primary remedy for this. Its pungent, invigorating aroma was believed to stimulate the brain and improve cognitive function. One common practice was simply to inhale the scent of fresh rosemary. People would carry sprigs of rosemary in their pockets or tuck them into their clothing, allowing the fragrance to waft up throughout the day. For a more direct approach, a decoction of rosemary leaves was often made into a tea. This tea, consumed regularly, was thought to strengthen the mind and prevent the loss of memory. The Regiment Sanitatis Salernitanum explicitly mentioned rosemary as being good for faintness of mind and for sharpening the wits, underscoring its widespread recognition for cognitive benefits. Beyond memory, rosemary was a powerful ally against headaches, particularly those often associated with sluggish circulation or mental fatigue. The volatile oils in rosemary were believed to have a stimulating effect on the blood vessels, easing tension and promoting better blood flow to the head. A simple yet effective remedy was to make a strong infusion of rosemary and use it as a compress, applied to the forehead or temples. Alternatively, a rosemary-infused oil made by steeping rosemary sprigs in a base oil like olive oil could be massaged into the scalp, its warmth and aroma providing relief. Circulation issues manifesting as cold extremities or a general feeling of chill were another common complaint for the aging population. According to humoral theory, older bodies tended towards coldness. Rosemary, with its warming properties, was seen as an excellent remedy to invigorate the blood and improve circulation. A rosemary bath, prepared by steeping generous amounts of the herb in hot water and adding the infusion to bath water, was a popular method for promoting warmth throughout the body and easing general aches. This provided not only physical comfort, but also a soothing aromatic experience. Regular consumption of rosemary tea was also encouraged to maintain internal warmth and vitality for muscle aches and joint pain, often a constant companion for those advancing in years. Rosemary was also applied externally. Poultices made from crushed rosemary leaves, sometimes warmed, were placed on sore joints, believed to reduce inflammation and stiffness. The stimulating properties of the herb were thought to draw out discomfort. Rosemary was also used as a general tonic, to boost overall vitality and ward off general weakness. It was often combined with wine to create a medicinal cordial, a practice mentioned in various medieval herbals. The influential 14th century physician John of Gaddesden, in his Rosa Anglia, discussed the uses of rosemary for various ailments, emphasizing its widespread acceptance in medical practice. Rosemary's strong association with memory extended beyond the purely medicinal. It was deeply interwoven with cultural practices. It was often carried at funerals as a symbol of remembrance for the deceased, and offered at weddings as a symbol of fidelity. This deep cultural resonance reinforced its perceived power. Whether grown in the ordered rows of a monastic herb garden, where monks meticulously tended it for its medicinal bounty, or found growing wild on sun-drenched hillsides, rosemary held a special place. It was a tangible link to ancient wisdom, a fragrant guardian against the passage of time, offering a profound sense of hope and a practical means of seeking comfort and sharpness of mind in the face of aging. Its pervasive presence in medieval life, from the kitchen to the sickroom, speaks volumes about its enduring legacy as the herb of remembrance.